My name is Carson. Welcome to Thrifty Garage, a channel where we do everyday repairs, how-tos, and reviews. And in today's video, we'll be doing some welding. I'm going to be showing you how not to weld. Before we get into it, I've got some other things on the bench here. Dealing with the chainsaw. This is the chainsaw I rebuilt. Probably gonna tear to that. Found some issues with it. And then I'm also working on the 10 millimeter socket test. So here's the sockets after I ran through the rock tumbler. You can see they're all starting to rust because the chrome plating has come off. Some have held up better than others. So if you're interested in that video, check that out. So for starters here, we've got this Lincoln electric welder. If you want to see my review video, I've got a long-term review video, as well as I had some issues with the fan, and I did a fan replacement on that. That's the only problems I've had with this in the last 8-10 years, however long I've had it. It's got flux wire, I believe it's in it. I don't have a can of gas hooked up to this. I never have. I've always ran it this way. And today we'll be doing a pretty simple project. We'll be welding up the exhaust on my truck. It's really loud right now. It's the way I bought it stock, and want to quiet it down. I run a landscape business, and for the sake of my clients, especially my snow removal clients and my neighbors during the snow removal season, waking up at 3 in the morning, I want to quiet it down. Luckily, I did receive the old catalytic converter and muffler with it when I purchased the truck. Whoever had it before me straight piped it, so we'll be undoing everything that they did and putting the stuff back on. So the reason I'm backing into this garage, even though it's small, is because you're supposed to plug this directly into the wall. I'm going to do my best to do that. I only have one outlet in this garage, so we'll try and keep the extension cords to a minimum and hopefully not use any at all. And yes, we live in Tornado Alley. We've got a tornado shelter. I do have a tornado survival kit video, so if you're interested in that, check that out as well. It's about as far in the garage as I can get with that door. I've got that door just in front of the garage door opener. So I do have a lot of working space back here, get to my toolbox, whatever. And I'll have plenty of room on that side to access where the muffler needs to go. Red light. Okay. So here you can see, we've got the end of this here. I need to cut this end off. Go all the way down to here. I'll cut that end off. This end's pretty goobered up. We'll cut this first, and then we'll weld in the exhaust. You can see here, they just slipped on this massive pipe over top of the old one. They had to pound that one in to make it fit. This side fit a little bit better, kind of on an angle. So yeah, we're going to put the old one back in here, return it back to stock. You can see we've got a lot of soot in here. I do plan to do to reflash the computer. I think they've put a tune on it. I will also plan to return this back to factory I just want a reliable work truck. Don't need anything crazy power or anything like that. Okay, first things first, I cut out that section of pipe. I used this diamond metal cutting blade. Worked pretty good. Doesn't throw as much abrasive everywhere. So I cut that with the abrasive, had to use the hacksaw in order to get to some of the places. This is not a weight reduction thing. This old muffler weighs quite a bit more than that piece of pipe, but it's all for quieting down. So once we cut it out, got that pipe removed, then I went through with this sandpaper flapper disc and cleaned off everything. Looks nice and clean. I'm going to disconnect the battery. It's getting pretty late. We're about 9:30, 9:45. This muffler does kind of mount vertically, which is why those pipes were at an angle. Our inlet and outlet, our inlet is on the bottom and then the outlet is on the top. So those are in different locations. And then we'll weld this up, and then after I've got welded up, I'll probably get it 80-90% of the way today, and then I'll drive it around, and if there are any leaks I'll find those pretty quickly. But it should quiet this down a lot, and it should help me diagnose. I think I've got an intake leak, should help me diagnose that, and if I've got any other exhaust leaks, that'll help me know where those are at as well. Okay, we'll plug in the outlet there. Got a welder here, stretching out of the truck. We are not gonna make it, which is unfortunate. So I'll have to use my extension cord. It is what it is. Okay, this is the ground strap. We'll connect that to a ground. This is our trigger. We push that button, feeds that wire, and it runs power through it. Turn it on. We set our speed, slow to fast. We set our power. We'll probably want to B is probably a good setting. D is the highest voltage, A is the lowest. I'm usually welding in B or C on most of my projects with a speed of like 3 or 4. In the side panel here, we've got a gauge that tells us what speed settings to have depending on the size of metal or material we're using, what type of connections, and here we've got my wire. So we do look like we've got a good amount of wire. This is the larger spool size. I quickly upgraded that because I was running through those little spools really quickly. Here's a setting right here. So this adjusts the pressure putting down on this wire. You don't want it too tight because it'll bind up, but you also don't want it too loose, otherwise this spool on spool. Okay, I've got these really close to lined up. This part's floppy, but this is lined up really well. And then this side's even better. So close enough that I can hold it with a welder and get it perfectly in place, and then tack it around in a few places, do like 3 different spots, and then we'll burn it in all the way around. There's our ground. We've got our buzz box going over there. We got our first 2 tacks on there. Pretty flush. Got a little bit of offset on this side. I think it'll be okay though. It's always good to have real good light when you're welding. Might seem counterintuitive because you've got good light output once it's burning, but it helps. Already burning holes in there. Okay, we're just wrapping up. I didn't film much. My battery's dying. It's late at night. It's 10:40 right now. I've got to be out and working the landscape jobs tomorrow. And the battery died anyways. My charging strip here, I stole all the power for the welder, so I haven't been charging my batteries. I know this one's getting low too. Anyways, we're back to here. There's that weld. This one was really hard to get in on top there, but I think I got it pretty good. Here's this weld. This one was a little bit easier. I could kind of see it from this angle and the back side pretty good. So probably not the best welds in the world, but not too shabby. So we'll pull off this. We'll put back up the battery and we'll drop these jack stands down, fire it up, and see how it sounds. I'm excited to hear how this sounds. Should be a lot quieter. I'm like half an inch from touching that wall. So we got this guy up here. This is the ground for this controller. This is for the snowplow. Check my power steering while I'm in here. This has been getting low. Yeah, I need to add some. We're low on the dipstick there. If you can see that tube, that's bad news. Yeah, it's right about midway through the tube. I've got a new power steering box in the works. Okay, one tip right here with this battery, make sure you always put this cap back on. The oil dipstick is right here. And when you pull this out, if that's not on, this will ground out right against the battery cap. Not fun. So that's tightened. Should be ready to fire it up. Okay, that's gonna be a wrap on this video. Sorry to rush it at the end so much. Late night, gotta get it done. Much quieter. We'll have to do some pull tests, show you the difference when it's towing a trailer, and definitely quieter. I kind of was waiting for it to be loud, and then it wasn't loud. So, gonna top off power steering fluid and go to bed. Probably shower first. My name is Carson. Welcome to Thrifty Garage, a channel where we do everyday repairs, how-tos, and reviews. And in today's video, we've got the welder out, Lincoln Electric welder here. If you're interested in this welder, we've got another video on that.